Every day we look for the latest smartphones, tablets, and other tech devices. We're always looking for the next big thing, whether a smartwatch or a VR headset. However, the latest is usually the greatest, but that doesn't mean older, lesser devices aren't good either. So let's take a look at a smartphone that's worth another look. This is the Moto X, revisited. A lot of people probably remember the hype of the X phone. This Moto X was the result of that highly anticipated phone. And even though it didn't bring the high-class 1080p screen and revolutionary features, it did bring a phone that lots of people could buy and enjoy. In fact, this was the first phone after the acquisition from Google in 2012. I find this phone to be a new step forward or a new beginning for the company, and the phone was released in August last year. At the time, it was really popular, and I just picked up my Moto X a couple of weeks ago. This seems to be one of the best phones I've used in a while, and as we all remember, the Moto X is assembled in America, and its target audience is the mainstream consumer, which is a good idea instead of getting stuck in the specs race. However, you still need specs to make a really good phone, and the Moto X, as I said before, isn't the beast or the best of specs. The phone will fit in your pocket with it easily 2 inches in width and put 4 inches in thickness. This is by far not as thin as the iPhone, and yet it still won't be hard to put in your pocket as a Samsung Galaxy Note 3 or any other phone that's 5.7 inches plus. Speaking of iPhones, before I had this phone, I had an iPhone, and I noticed that the Moto X was considerably heavier when I compared them side by side. I could really notice the difference, but on the bright side, having a heavier and yet reasonably light phone is good. The Moto X is powered by the not-so-beastly Qualcomm S4 Pro and 2GB of RAM. The screen is very good for 2013. The phone is also running Android KitKat 4.4, and of course this could change throughout the year. Don't worry, your Moto X will get updates with Android L. Speaking of software, the Moto X has really neat features that are actually very useful in everyday situations. For example, Google Now, which is great when you don't have a free hand or you want to look at something quickly and not waste time. My favorite use is impressing friends and family that I really have a good phone. Another nice feature is Moto Migrate, which I actually use. You think that all these bloatware features are useless, but I actually have to say, this feature was pretty useful. What you have to do is you can transfer your files straight from your iPhone by putting in your iCloud account, password, and information, and it'll take a few minutes, but it'll sync all your contacts and phone numbers, or anything that was saved onto your cloud could be sent to your Android. The shake to turn on your camera is also a really good feature for snapping those quick photos in the moment before people leave or somebody's gone. All you have to do is twist your phone and the camera app will automatically open. You'll really like this feature if you're looking for a way to get your son's photo before they leave or pets before they run off. Now, most of our tech devices don't have very good battery life, and this is probably one of the spots in which technology hasn't caught up to the rest of the world. The battery on the Moto X is 2200 mAh battery. The Moto X battery life follows suit with the rest of the smartphones out today. It gives me around a day of use and not much more. However, the battery does seem to charge pretty quickly, and it's very efficient in conserving battery when I need it, but still I would like it to last longer than a day so that I don't have to be worried that I'll be left in the dark the next day if I forget to charge. The Moto X comes in at $0 at Verizon, and it can be found at other places for a low price as well. The phone comes in variations of 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes. I have the 16 model, and I would have bought the 32, but at $0, you just can't beat the price. However, you will be left out of the micro SD card party, because the Moto X does not include that. And finally, Moto Maker, which is one of the best features I didn't get to use when I bought my Moto X from Verizon, because they only have black, which is what I used, and they have white. I would have loved to try or engraved my name, but it's a sacrifice you just have to make. I'm not gonna lie, this camera on the Moto X isn't up to par with other phones like iPhones and Galaxies. I would definitely not shoot pictures with this, even if I had to. The camera is 10 megapixels and it still needs work. The front camera is 2 megapixels and fine for video and other things you might do on a front camera. Overall, the phone is good and it brings features that are very appealing and useful. It may not win the specs or screen races, but nowadays phones aren't changing that much, and the Moto X is perfectly fine to buy if you want a cheap phone and close to stock Android. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and comment letting me know what phone you have right now. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to tell me in the comments @MobileGOnline, and I'll know that you watched the whole video.